Welcome to the You Can Man podcast, episode 36. I'm Josh.
I'm Tim.
And I'm Dave.
And on this week's episode, car seats and dangerous tools.
All right, guys, welcome back to the UK Man podcast, where we believe what one man can do, you can do as well. If you didn't catch from the title, it does seem sort of like a hodgepodge of material that we're going to be going over. And it is. This show is definitely going to be a hodgepodge.
It's a random show.
It's a random show. Hey, look, you got to have one of those every once in a while.
You got to break the rhythm, right?
We couldn't quite decide on a really main thing. And so we just decided, you know what? We're going to do a random show. So we're going to talk a little bit about car seats.
Yeah.
And dangerous tools and how people die.
Yeah, and we're going to touch on some scary things. So could have some Halloween undertones.
Right, because this episode will release
Halloween.
Halloween Eve.
Ooh, spooky.
Yes.
All right.
I think the last episode I talked about doing some work to my 1998 Explorer.
The seats.
The driver's seat was just horrible. It's from 1998, guys, okay? And it was just sunk in, it's killing my back. So I went to the fabric store.
Yeah, you did.
The fabric store?
Yeah.
Like Joann's? Is that a fabric store?
It's exactly the store.
You went to Joann's?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if that's like a national
It's
chain
pretty big,
or
I think.
what is
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay. And I bought
Where else did you go?
What?
Where else did you go?
What do you mean?
Did you stop by TJ Maxx and Home Goods as well?
Well,
He got his nails did too.
actually I did go to the craft store, Michael's, the craft,
okay.
the arts crafts.
I'm
because
sure you did.
I thought that they would have foam first, and I was like, wait a second, I'm in the wrong store.
Yeah.
Any Hobby Lobby on your adventure?
Well, I was going to go there too, but the one closest or whatever closed down. I don't know.
It moved. It just moved.
Oh, it moved.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, look, guys.
Gotta keep up with
does this
this
matter?
stuff.
No.
No, you got it done, right?
Okay, so I got foam, high density foam,
Yeah.
and I took that seat out
All right.
and flipped that joker over, and it was not that bad. I had to deal with some what I believe are called hog rings.
Yes.
Okay. And my
Like
friend Brandon helped
Ugly
me.
staples-ish.
Well, yeah, but they're round, and anyway,
They look
I
like
had-
nails
I had
that
to
are bent.
separate those, and but I just pulled back the leather and shoved some new foam in there.
How'd it turn out?
I mean, it's decent.
Is it better?
Did you use
Yeah, it's
like
better.
one block of foam? To,
Yeah,
like,
and then I
shape
just
one
kind
block?
of shaped it a little
Okay.
bit, and then I shoved some foam up in a couple of key spots
All right.
that were just kind of messed up.
It's an
but-
improvement, though.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I mean,
That was
like
your first foray into upholstery. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say that. Look, again, it's a 1998.
like I said last week, that I always thought car upholstery was awesome.
It is awesome.
on all those TV shows.
Yeah, and
It looks
another
great.
thing that I did is I cleaned out my heater core, flushed out my heater core.
Nice. I've never done that.
I haven't either.
Oh, it's super easy.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, you literally take a garden hose. Well, you disconnect it, so you got a line going in, line going out.
Yep.
Heater core, all it is for guys that don't know, it's just basically a miniature radiator. That's really all it is. And it does have a valve when you turn the heater on. It'll allow the coolant to flow through, so it's not running through in the summertime, right? And that's all it does. The air just blows past it. And the hot coolant that's running through your coolant system, and the air blows by it, and it picks up the heat and dumps it into your car.
Man, you got to flush that thing out
Yeah.
every once in a while.
Well, yeah, it gets backed up, right? So you gotta flush that thing out. If your heater's not working, that's probably, and you have an older car, that's likely one of the culprits is a filthy heater core.
Flush it out.
And when you do it, you want to back flush it because the coolant is used to going the same way, right?
Okay.
So you want to put the garden hose up to the outlet, not the inlet, and just blast all that
Pump it all
nasty
out.
out of there. So I did that, and it's awesome. I put my hand up to when it got up to temperature, put my hand up to the air vent, and I couldn't hold my hand there.
That's a good feeling. That's a good feeling when
nice.
you get
Like-
that kind of improvement.
Oh yeah,
I bet
and
I
I just
should do that.
love it hot. So, I there's times that I've been driving in my car. I remember an older car that I had the heat on so much for so long that the head unit, my radio, flashed up a thing that said "too hot."
What? What's
Yes.
wrong with you,
And it just shut off or something.
dude?
It had some sort of safety feature,
funny.
but
You
I'm
need to
just
get
like,
checked
yes.
out. Wow. Nah,
So you had
So-
like a portable sauna going.
Yeah.
Nice.
I can't be doing that kind of heat in my whip. It's
Yeah.
not going to happen.
And then I got to do another thing to it this week. I got to replace the alternator. Not because alternator's bad. It's the alternator pulley. The bearings are bad
Mm-hmm.
in the pulley, and it's just making this noise. And so,
Should Instagram it.
yeah,
Should
I
you
might.
get that thing right?
Yeah, I'm trying to make it last. I really want to get like 200,000 miles out of it, and I'm at like
car
189.
itself,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I'm going to keep rocking it even past that, but that's kind of my milestone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's my random bit.
Well, how many
that
miles
I-
did you say on it? You have on it?
I have 189. I think I
Okay.
just turned 189,000.
We'll be pretty close. I'm at 181 on the Lexus, but I
Okay.
drive a lot more than you do. So
Yeah, I've been
think
driving a good bit
comparatively.
lately.
Okay.
So
I'm back and forth, but it's not a huge commute. Yeah. So this weekend I did an Instagram story, and if you didn't catch it, I saved it to our highlights.
Oh, you did?
on our
Okay.
Instagram page, so you'll be able to see it. Yeah, as I've mentioned, we're having a third child. We have a Toyota 4Runner with no third row, so we are about to be rocking 3 across in the backseat of the 4Runner, which is not a wide vehicle. And
That just feels like National Lampoon's Vacation to me. From the
Yeah.
1980s, you got 3 kids across the back. Nobody does that anymore. But I will say your Instagram story was good. I know everything in the world. And there was some good information in
Whoa.
there that I didn't know about.
okay.
Nah,
That's a-
with the kid seat things, there's some good stuff in there. So check it out.
yeah, and I already ran into some problems. I mentioned the buckle is like way down in the seat, and so the kid in the booster seat is having a hard time reaching it. So I bought some extender.
And for
action.
those of our listeners that did not see the Instagram story,
Yeah,
he's putting 3 across, but in order to do that, it's a space constraint, obviously. So you had to get a special, very narrow car seat,
yes, we got the Diono Radian.
right? Which is a steel frame.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
like
heavy.
yeah.
Yes,
But that's why, I mean, if it's a steel frame, that's why they can make it more narrow and just a much thinner profile, right? I
yeah,
mean, that's what I
think
assume.
That's it, and that's the like industry standard for narrow car seats.
Man, I never thought I'd be doing a podcast about child seats.
Here
but
we go.
Here I am.
Here we are.
No,
You
that's
know-
good information for sure.
Yeah, I had prided myself on installing car seats the proper way.
Yep.
And then we went to our local county government, and I'm sure a lot of other county governments have something similar at least, or maybe you can go to the fire station. And
I've heard fire stations, hospitals will do it. Like
yeah, but there is a particular program in our county, in Cobb County, outside of Atlanta, and they have this thing called the Safety Village or something. Okay. And I
we
think
were
they
just
bring
there.
Yeah, I think they bring kids in on field trips and they talk about safety things. Anyways, a portion of that is dedicated to you can schedule a time, bring your car in, and they will show you the proper way to install car seats. So we did that. We took advantage of it and I went there and they're like, yeah, you shouldn't have been doing this and this and this. And I'm like, really? Okay. And they're actually pulling up manufacturers' recommendations. They're doing research while we're there, looking into the exact thing that you should do.
Okay.
And I was really surprised. You know, at first
Yeah.
you're kind of like, you know, your pride's hurt a little bit, but then you're like, does it really matter? But
It does not matter.
you know,
You need to get it right.
if you're going to get into it, I mean, you might as well do it right.
Yeah, they're
So-
safer than they were 20 years ago.
Yeah.
but-
So look into that. Do some Googling.
yeah,
and
check
see.
I mean, the manual the car seat comes with, I read them all. We have 3 new car seats in our family now, and I read them all, and yeah, there's things on each one of them where I was like, man, like one, I have a kid that's like 41 pounds. He's ready for the booster, forward-facing booster. I have a kid that's like 32 pounds. He's on his heels, and but he's not ready for a booster. He still needs the 5-point harness, but in that particular car seat, when he hits 40 pounds, there's a part I need to take off. Like, so I gotta I don't know, make a note of that, like project out when I think he's going to hit that and set a calendar reminder. I don't know how I'm going to do that. So yeah, pay attention to your manuals. Pull them out every once in a while, especially if your kid's been in the same car seat for a while. Pull it out and take a look.
Do you guys take pride in how tightly you can get that thing cinched down in there? Because I do, and I've
you put a knee on it.
Well, I'll put my weight on it and I'll just pull that cord, like it's a flipping rip cord from a parachute as hard as I can. And then, but then when I take it out and I see how deeply it's dug into my seats, I'm like,
that's not coming back.
I might have gone a little bit too much.
Our 4Runner back seat is completely depressed all across. One thing, I'm glad we labeled this show car seats and whatnot, because more car seat talk here. The infant carrier car seat, it only attaches in the back, like where the seat meets the bottom of the seat, right? And it only connects there. So you can actually like take the front of the
and you can lift it up and down, right?
Lift it up and down like a good 6 inches.
Oh, I remember that. And you're like, how is this safe?
Yeah. And so then I like look it up, and like the manufacturer is, or like at least I found like an engineer that like works on these things, and he's like, no, that's actually part of the crash absorption. Like the energy absorption is allowing the seat to move instead of the kid's skull and brain. Like the seat kind of gets to move first to absorb some more energy.
Yeah. We have a good mutual friend of ours who I will not mention his name, and he had pulled up to my house. We're going to do something, and he had his kid and one of his kids in the car seat, and I just happened to look in the back, just to kind of see. He had that thing, the car seat. The strap was supposed to go in the back of it. He had it go into the front part. I can't really explain it very well, but essentially, had he got in a wreck, it would have been a launch seat. it seriously would have just been a
ejection seat.
I was like, hey, bro, his name. I just lifted up the seat. And I was like, do you see anything wrong with this? Like, I just literally took my hand and lifted it up towards the front seat, showing the, the eject motion, basically. Oh man, you got to look. I don't have any problem. I have no problem whatsoever. I am that guy that will look at your car seat installation and be like, you're doing it wrong. I don't care what you think of me. This is wrong and this is wrong. And I will tell you, and I don't care because it could save your kid's life. One thing that really bugs me when I see pictures, people taking their kids in the car seat and that chest strap is down.
Yeah, Maggie, my wife she gets me for that one. She's like, oh, that thing. I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
armpits, bro.
Yeah. Because they could just launch right out of that. They'll just slip right out of that. Another thing too, don't put your kids in their big winter's coming, guys. Don't put the big heavy
jacket off.
You have to take the jacket off, and you're gonna be like, well, they're gonna be cold. Well, they might be dead.
Yeah.
So
there's some scary stories about kids getting ejected with their jacket still in the car seat. Pretty horrifying.
That is messed up.
Yeah, that's a bad metaphor.
Not as big of a deal here in the South.
It's not really a metaphor, but
yeah, still. Well, I mean, we've done a good 7 minutes on car seats. So are we ready?
Tim can keep going. I
probably can. I probably could keep going.
There's a lot there. So yeah, check out my Instagram story.
I wonder how many percentage of our listeners, have to deal with car seats.
Yeah,
that's
I feel
interesting,
like
right?
Our target market is about our age and life stage.
Yeah, so. Or if you haven't dealt with car seats, you're probably going to, or you could just be that random weird guy that just knows everything there is to know about car seats, but you don't have.
He'll be the single guy critiquing your car seat install.
Hey, you should do that. Just research. You can, man.
All right. So since we're coming up on Halloween, what did you guys do? Because I know we've got some variations here. What did you guys do as kids?
I'm shocked that we have variations. By the way.
Okay.
Should we let the weird people go first?
Yeah, I'm probably the weirdest.
Look, I don't think I ever really went trick or treating. Okay, I grew up we went to what do they call the church things like?
Now they call it trunk or treat.
Trunk or treat,
but we just call it a fall festival.
Oh yeah, it was a fall festival. I grew up in the South, It's Southern Baptist.
Yeah, baby.
And that's what we did. We did fall festival stuff, and we had candy. It was just like the alternative to going out
Did
trick or
you
treat.
dress up as Bible characters?
Yeah. I mean, maybe I did at some point in time. I don't think.
We totally 100% did. Yeah,
Okay.
my mom is awesome. I'm not even mad because I don't care. I'm a grown man now. But like, we didn't trick or treat.
I want to beat you up now, like as an adult, just to
come get some, because we didn't trick or treat at all. I think as maybe I was leaving the house, like when I went to college, my youngest sibling, who's my sister, was going into elementary school. That's the stage we were at. That's the gap.
Whoa.
And I think they might have started trick-or-treating after that. But while I was trick-or-treating age, we went to the church and dressed up as Bible characters. And my mom went all out on some Bible costumes. Like, I went as Samson one year, and my dad carved a donkey's jawbone out of wood with his bandsaw and painted it up with like teeth. Like,
for those of you that don't know the reference, it's Samson. He had incredible strength as a Bible character.
Because I was built when I was 11.
He slaughtered a bunch of people using the jawbone
of a donkey.
Yeah. So your parents, they were all like, these boys are not going to be corrupted by this night.
Like, we are not going to celebrate the death this night.
Okay.
We're not doing that. Which, that's fine. We still have fun. We dressed up. We got candy. That's basically all. That's
the end game, right? Is getting the candy.
The neighborhood center kids were running around and trick or treating in the neighborhood, but
Dave,
not us.
Yeah, I was normal, okay, and I trick or treated in my neighborhood with my friends, and I dressed up as a skeleton and a ninja, and when I got older, as nothing. But
we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I had a great time. It was one of my favorite nights of the year because you get to go out. It's nighttime. It's a school night. You're hanging out with your buddies, and you're just running around the neighborhood, acting like idiots, getting candy and going crazy,
worshiping the devil.
Yeah, worshiping the devil. And just being sinners, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So was there an age that you started trick-or-treating without a costume?
Yes. And I immediately identified in my mind, okay, I feel really weird doing this because,
you should.
I developed very early. I was extremely tall at a very young age. And when I say, I haven't grown since like literally 8th grade. I'm 6'5". I was really tall back then. And, yeah, I went out and I don't think I wore anything. And everybody was kind of giving me I'd knock on the door, trick or treat,
Being a weirdo.
Yeah. And they'd be like, okay, this guy's weird. This man is weird.
Yeah. I don't really have any other, that's all I remember is at church costumes. One year, this was when we were young, we did like Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, me and my younger brother. And I feel like I was Superman and he was Batman one year. But then there was like a big block of time where we just did the church thing.
I'm sure my church did one of those, but I was not going to be advertising it to my parents, letting them know that. Because I'm like, look, 1 day a week is all you're getting, okay?
Another part of our show was dangerous tools.
Yeah.
We're going to continue this hodgepodge.
Yeah.
We got car seats. We got Halloween. And we have some dangerous tool stories.
Are we talking about specific dangerous tools or... Well, the dangers of
there's a couple tools that I associate with Halloween. One is an axe, and the other is a chainsaw.
Yeah,
because those are scary.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had a Sunday school teacher.
Yeah, this is me and Tim.
Yes, sorry, Josh and I at the church we were at. When was this? Probably
1997.
Middle school?
No, this was high school.
Oh, it was.
Yep, it was
must have been like freshman year.
Could have been.
It doesn't matter.
We're in the 1997 range.
Okay,
96, 97.
Yes, he was a Sunday school teacher of ours. And he almost amputated his leg with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
And I still don't know exactly what happened.
I can tell you.
Oh, you can
I remember this vividly. I don't care. I don't have. Dave is like, he could document almost every day of his childhood, I think. I get just glimpses.
All the non-important stuff. Yeah, it's not useful.
I get glimpses. And one of this day of going to visit him at his house is seared into my mind.
I remember that. I'm just saying the actual
story.
accident.
Yeah, I remember the story too. So he was using a chainsaw on a stump. Like the tree he had already felled the tree. And he was using it on the stump for some reason, and it kicked back into his shin. And what I remember him telling us is
he fell back.
He fell backwards.
And then the bottom of his foot, he sees it come towards him. He could see the
bottom of his foot, his boot, like in his face.
He described it that his leg was essentially holding on
by his calf.
And while he was describing it, he was standing on that same leg?
No, he was sitting. He was in a full
But the leg was
cast.
attached.
Yep.
Wow.
It was hanging on by his calf muscle.
Oh.
That's a bad day.
That's a really bad day.
We went and visited him. So after church, our entire boys
after
Sunday
trunk or treat
school class or something, and we went to go visit him to see him because he almost cut off his leg.
Show us the wound.
He did. He showed.
He did.
Did he really?
Okay, so we all go in his stuffy house.
It's typical 60s ranch house.
And he uncovered that thing. Okay.
Everybody's like, oh!
And
we took turns walking by it.
I hadn't eaten anything. That day.
Damn.
Okay.
Let me tell you real quick what the wound looked like. It was, he uncovered it, and there was a hole in his leg, probably a rectangle about 4 inches long, 3 inches wide, and you could just see into the cavity because they were leaving it open so that they could do some kind of like bone graft in there because he had removed a chunk, like a chunk of his bone had to be taken out.
Hang on, anyway, Tim's getting a little weak in the knees.
Well, speaking of,
so to this day, I still say that it wasn't me seeing that. Okay,
it probably wasn't,
but. It probably
you can keep telling yourself that.
So I'm like, look, guys, I'm not feeling good. I don't even know if I don't think I even told anybody that. I was just like, I need some air. And I'm just going to go out to his like carport area, open garage, whatever. And the next thing I know, I'm waking up on the ground.
Oh, snap.
I heard him. My back was
You went to sleep.
My back was to the door.
And you heard
he was outside of, and it sounded like a bowling ball was dropped on the garage floor. Just
I don't know how I wasn't injured.
I don't either. I was seriously worried like for your head because it sounded awful.
When I was coming to after that, it felt like I had a good night's sleep.
That's what you said. Yeah.
I was like, man, I feel like I'm well rested. I don't know. That was such a weird, surreal experience.
We didn't put you through the concussion protocol. We didn't have that back then.
Yeah. So to this day, I still have to deal with, you saw dude's chainsawed leg.
Yeah, you can't get away from that.
Couldn't take it and then passed out.
I have a similar story. I didn't pass out, but when I was in middle school, teacher shows up. I think it was at the beginning of the year. This teacher shows up with a cast on each arm, on his forearms. And it was like, whoa, what happened to you, Mr. So-and-so? And he told, I don't know exactly what happened. The story that I heard was, I got in a fight with a chainsaw and the chainsaw won.
Wow.
And it was hilarious, when he told us. But, yeah, again, just sawed right through his arms, had casts on there.
Both of them.
Both arms. Yep. This day, I've used a chainsaw. I haven't used one very much because I don't trust those things. I don't trust myself. I don't trust those things, man.
You shouldn't trust them. They are wild animals and they are to be respected. Now, I think Tim mentioned a month or so ago, he was cutting a tree and telling his son everything not to do, and then he would go just do the opposite. And you're supposed to wear the chaps.
Oh, I was in shorts.
You should do all that.
You
should take every precaution.
No one's ever taught me chainsaw safety, and so I just need a quick tutorial.
There's a lot that goes into it that I just don't even.
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot that goes into it that I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a tool you use every year and a half, maybe every 14 months on average.
You're not experienced.
Well, why buy all this equipment?
Right.
If you're only, that it comes into that territory. And I've read that most people are injured doing storm cleanup because everyone in the neighborhood, there's trees down. Everyone comes out oh yeah, I got a chainsaw. And so now everyone's using a chainsaw, just trying to clear the roads really quickly.
Right.
And that's when people get in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
All right. I got another thing, guys, that honestly, I wasn't able to find a whole lot of very specific stories of how exactly these things happened. wood chipper deaths.
Oh,
I thought about that one. I wasn't going to go there, man.
Dude.
It's horrific.
And I pulled up some news stories, but it's like you pull up these news stories. What are they going to say? I mean, dude got sucked into the wood chipper.
He got chipped,
pulverized.
Yeah. The end.
I mean, there's usually no. I mean, how are you going to explain that? I mean, he fell into the wood chipper.
It's bad times.
Yeah,
I remember I was watching this show, those morbid shows I watch, and it was like an unsolved crime story thing, like Forensics Files or something, and. The story, I won't give the whole thing, but basically someone in the dead of winter somewhere up north killed somebody and like wood chipped their body into a river.
Wow.
I mean, that's like sophisticated, right?
I think he froze him and then chipped him.
Yeah, he did. That's what he did.
Yeah. I remember the story.
Okay, so he froze him and then chipped him. Anyway, they ended up finding him because somebody randomly like drove by on the bridge that was next to the river and thinks they remember seeing a truck down there. So they went, because they had like no leads. So they went into the river with a metal detector, found a dude's filling.
Ooh.
The filling.
They found a filling with a metal detector.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how they solved the crime.
Yeah, because then somehow they're like, okay, he was here and this other person was also here.
Yeah, I did run across. So there's a couple things. One story I ran across was a guy that got pulled into a wood chipper on his first day of work. Mm-mm. Okay, now this had everything to do as a young kid. I don't know exactly how old he was.
Younger than us.
It was his first day on the job of like a tree service, and they just didn't tell him how to run this thing. Man, how freaking sad is that? But I was thinking about, I had hired a tree crew, and Josh, this was at your house. So listeners that don't know, I won't get into all of it, but my wife and I kind of flipped the house that Josh and his wife now live in. Part of that was we took out all these trees. Well, I basically hopped on that guy's crew that day because I forgot to have the power company drop the power line, and then that meant that he was having to like scale these trees instead of just dropping them. So I felt really bad. So I was like, bro, I'll help you out. I'm really, really sorry that I didn't take care of this because I said that I would. Well, I just basically got stationed at the wood chipper, and I never used one of these huge wood chippers, and I'm just just part of the crew. Nobody was telling me how to do,
And you get your clothes hung on a limb or something.
Yeah, I'll bet it's pretty easy. I mean, I'll bet it's not that hard to get, to get into a bad situation in those things. And you don't even have time to think. You'd be like, am I going to make? And then it's over,
Yeah, there was a lot of that I ran across more amputations. So somebody's arm gets stuck in there, and I guess they just pull back, and their arm is gone, but hey, their body is, Now, if you go on the Department of Labor website, OSHA, right, they keep a log of just all of these stories, and they're just like 3-sentence kind of synopsis of the accident. Most all of them are just something stupid, like somebody. Well, I don't want to say stupid, like somebody lost a finger, but stuff like that.
Minor injuries.
So there's not a whole, minor injuries, or things that the wood chipper shot something out and somebody got a laceration on their head. But whenever there's these work related injuries, they have to get reported. Okay. And all this stuff, and so that's why they end up there. But
it's probably like a third of what goes on.
Yeah, but I will try to remember to post the link if you just want to read about it. It's interesting because it's just and the man's body was pulverized by the whatever. I mean, literally, it says this. You know?
That sounds weird, but I read NTSB reports on plane crashes like once a month.
It's like that. Yeah. It's seriously like that. So look, guys, don't mess around with wood chippers.
Well, just to keep the morbid train going here, I read a story about a guy who fell off of a ladder, and he had a drill on him, and the drill went through. He falls onto the drill. It goes through his jaw, severs an artery. Dies.
No.
Yeah. Like total freak accident.
I mean, ladders are going to kill you.
They could kill you. Yeah.
I do not like ladders.
Yeah. I was up on a ladder.
But imagine falling on like your drill, I don't know if he was holding onto it, it was on his belt, falls on the drill through the jaw.
Yeah.
Peace.
I cleaned we have a big pane of glass. It's like a 4x4 pane, and it looks out of our kitchen window, and the kids from the inside put their hands all over it, but the outside's always been kind of dirty. So 2 weeks ago, I got up there with the ladder. It's only from ground floor, like to the top of the second floor.
Yeah, but if you fly a desk all day,
you need to get you just like a big pole with the squeegee
it's
thing.
Not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I was 18 feet up, and I was, I was thinking about what could go wrong, but
a lot. Well, you got grass down there, you'd be all right.
Yeah, my ladder was
It'll hurt.
sturdy. It was good. But then I just saw literally today on Instagram someone with my exact same ladder. He had put the base of it way too far out.
Come on, man.
He climbed up, and that thing just slid. The top of it just slid down the house, and he was in his driveway.
Man, whenever I put a ladder up, I get on the thing. I just jump on it.
Yeah.
I jump on
like
it.
5 feet up and just jump.
Yeah. I'm just like, what could I do to cause myself to fall off of this thing? And I'm going to do that now. It's the same principle whenever I jack up a car. I come out and I just shake it as violently as I can to see if it's going to do anything.
Yeah, but what if you take it just right to the edge and you're like, well, it's good. And then
at least you try.
I do the thing where I stand at the base of the ladder when I put it up and I put my arms out. And so you should be an arm's length away. I do that. And then I'm like, lick my finger, stick it in the air.
How
many times
you're a
have you
structural
guys...
engineer, shouldn't you know the math on that?
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Well, I just do it in my head real quick and then I'm like,
how many times have you guys using a ladder that does not already have the adjustable legs and you're on a slope? And you'll just get a rock or like a couple blocks of wood.
Oh, I don't even put anything. I don't put anything.
I did last time.
Yeah, and you just put it up.
I don't do anything under there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you have to if it's a big enough.
If I get I'm thinking about my driveway. I have to get up on my roof a lot, and the driveway slopes pretty good. And I don't put anything under there.
So before we get too far down this path, I think we can do a whole episode on the most dangerous tools, and ladders are obviously going to be on there. I think they're the leading cause of emergency room visits.
Yeah,
that are tool related.
I did, of course, run across table saw injuries just a little bit. One just like funny thing, I saw a YouTube video of a guy talking about his table saw injury, and I think he severed a couple of fingers or something like that, but he printed a photo of his nasty hand all bloody and put it up in his shop as a reminder.
It's good.
Shoot.
And he said like his wife was talking to his brother or something the day that it happened and saying like, oh my gosh, we got to go to the hospital. He cut off his fingers, blah, blah. And that his brother said, all right, well, I'm going to go get one of those wiener saws. Do you know what I'm referencing to that? Yeah. Yep. So it's to let our listeners know, it's a company called Saw Stop. And they hold the patent on the what would you call that? The flesh sensing blades that will immediately stop. And they always do these example videos using a hot dog. So the guy called it a wiener saw. So it's like I'm gonna definitely call it a wiener saw from now on.
It's a good thing to hang that picture up though, because you don't lose a finger the first day you buy that saw. You lose a finger once you get really comfortable with that thing. Yeah. And you're like, I got it, and you're not paying attention, and then
I've got bad habits. I need to buckle down on my tool habits. I've never been seriously injured, but
it's coming.
I'm really surprised I've never seriously been injured. I mean, there's plenty of times I probably should have been.
Yeah.
Man, you guys are bringing that evil on us right now. Just asking for it.
I think that's going to do it for our hodgepodge show.
Yeah, that was a good hodgepodge.
Yeah. So you guys let us know if you're up for another just like random show when we don't have like a really, really well.
You know what we haven't done in a while is a Q&A, an Ask Us Anything. So let's open up that.
And we actually have
we'll get that on the radar.
A pretty good community going now on our Facebook page. And so we should do our group page. So we should do that and put out the word to do another Ask Us Anything. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Dave has a segment.
This episode is sponsored by 1776 United. 1776 United is a patriotic and historically inspired lifestyle brand. They make the best patriotic shirts and apparel on the market today. I personally own many of their products, and if you want to don patriotic gear without looking gaudy, check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and at 1776united.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. Dave, what do you have for us?
So this week for my segment, for the second time ever, on the You Can Man show, we are going to do You Can Man Trivia.
Oh, nice.
And now, so this is the Halloween.
No, I did no, hold on now. I did trivia. No,
You did. And I thought you were going to bring this up. And I was going to say, some of our loyal listeners may say, we've done trivia several times on the You Can Man podcast, but that's not true. Tim essentially stole my segment and has done trivia several times. I think that I've only done one trivia segment. And so this is part 2 of that installment.
Okay.
And
because you were the creator, I get it.
Of the You Can Man Trivia hour or 15 minutes or so. So this week is going to be Halloween themed, so get excited for that.
All right.
There are people.
I mean, when I was a kid, I was huge into Halloween. Every year I would go to church, if you hadn't heard.
Oh, I haven't heard this story before.
Dress up as Bible characters.
There are people who I've heard adults say Halloween is my favorite holiday. I don't get that.
There's really also weird. Adults that say Disney World is my favorite place.
Yeah, but the Halloween thing as an adult, I don't get it. But anyway, all right. So here we go. We're going to go back over the rules real quick. This is going to be very structured. Okay. We're going to have 3 rounds, 3 questions in each round. Okay. In round 1, your points, your each question is worth 1 point. Round 2, 2 points. Round 3, 3 points.
Got it.
I'm going to be keeping score. Your name is your buzzer. Okay. You cannot lose points if you answer incorrectly.
Okay.
That's a key part of the game. Okay. So
got it.
All right.
Be yelling out that name.
And we have to wait till you finish the question.
You have to wait until I finish the question to answer, to use your buzzer, which is your name. I am final judge and jury.
Got it.
No arguments. The end.
Okay, go.
If we're close, we'll have a bonus round. Get excited. Okay. Question 1 in round 1. Some of these are going to be multiple choice, some not. So just be cool. In which country did Halloween originate?
Josh. Germany.
Incorrect. I'll give Tim.
I'm gonna say America.
That is incorrect. It was Ireland.
Okay.
A long time ago in Ireland. That's apparently where it originated. I had no idea. I would have assumed.
It's where the leprechauns come from, right?
Yeah. Or Scotland. What comes out of Scotland? Not Halloween. Anyway, so it's Ireland. Okay, so 1 point for nobody.
Okay. I have heard the trick or treat. Maybe I was thinking, well, no, that wouldn't have been right either. But I think trick or treating came out of Canada.
Okay.
I think that is correct.
Yeah.
I don't think I have a question on that.
Okay.
But I do think that's correct.
Go.
Question 2. From base to point. Okay, so I would say base to tip. What is the order of colors of candy corn?
Tim. Orange, yellow, white?
That's incorrect.
It's yellow, orange, white.
That is correct, Josh.
All right.
Very close.
My wife better know that because she loves candy corn.
I would say who doesn't love candy corn, but there are a lot of people out there who don't like it.
That's one of those really serious love-hate things. A lot of people that love it are like, I guess candy corn.
But I love one handful of candy corn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can't keep going. I need about 20 minutes in between.
Have you tried it with salted peanuts?
Yeah. So I was going to mention that your wife showed me that last year. I literally made myself so sick on it. I can't eat candy corn now. Like this year, there's been candy corn readily available, and I'm just like,
every year, man, she loves that stuff.
I ate my body weight in this.
I did that with Fireballs,
salted peanuts, and candy corn. Who knew?
But it's good, but man, be careful. Like Dave said, one handful at a time. Walk away.
Do you guys ever try like the weird candy corn, like the brown stuff and the?
No, it's not candy corn.
Me neither. Okay, all right. So
the pumpkins. No.
1 point for Joshua. Okay, final question of round 1. The first jack-o'-lanterns were carved out of which of the following? Pumpkins, watermelons, coconuts, or turnips?
Tim,
what's your answer?
Coconuts.
That is incorrect. Josh, would you like to answer?
Josh, turnips.
Turnips is correct.
Whoa! What? I was going to say squash before you gave us multiple choice.
So the first jack-o'-lanterns were made in Ireland out of hollowed out turnips. A piece of coal was inserted into the hollow, and the lantern was meant to guide the way of poor old Jack, who wasn't welcome in heaven, but was also barred from
Whoa.
Yeah, that's serious.
Jack-o'-lantern. Okay, I gotcha.
So yeah, they use turnips. I don't really know why.
Do they have different turnips that are bigger?
Possibly. I'm going to say yes. That
don't
would be
even know if I've
that'd be
ever seen
pretty
I guess
intricate, right?
You could fit a piece of coal in it. I mean, but
Yeah,
it's
shove it
probably
in
just because we have in our head the standard size of a pumpkin, and we're thinking of that in relation to a
Got to be able to
turnip.
put 3 candles in it.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyways, okay, keep going, Dave.
All right, so that's the end of round 1. Tim, I'm going to need you to step it up. It's 2-0, Josh.
You can
I
catch
just
up on
don't.
one question.
I'm going to cheat. I don't want Josh to win. Okay, I'd prefer Tim win this. But anyway,
Understood.
okay. So here we go. First question, round 2. Keep in mind these point totals increase. Okay, so they're now worth 2 points. Okay, question 1. What is the technical term for the fear of Halloween? I'm going to give you some options.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some options.
I'm going to give you some options, and I'm going to mispronounce them too.
I don't know Latin.
Fear of Halloween. Okay.
Option 1, Wiccaphobia, Samhainophobia, Nyctophobia, or Phasmophobia.
What?
I'll say them again.
None of those make sense.
Wiccaphobia, Samhainophobia, Nyctophobia, or Phasmophobia.
Tim, nyctophobia.
Incorrect.
Josh, phasmophobia.
Incorrect.
Whoa,
it's
really?
Samhainophobia.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was. I mean, I guess everybody has to have a thing
Got it
now.
for everything.
But they have like I don't know if this is a medical term.
Wiccaphobia is witches,
Look,
right?
all that stuff, some dude sat around and he's like, I'm going to make this up. And he made it up.
Samhainophobia is the fear of Halloween or the fear of the Festival of the Dead.
There you go.
The term Samhainophobia originates from Samhain, meaning summer's end.
Interesting.
I'm probably mispronouncing all these words.
Probably, but that's fine.
But whatever.
Because you made it sound like someone's name.
So yeah, Sam is afraid of Halloween.
Samhain.
So okay, no points for anybody. Question 2: Which of the following films was not directed by Tim Burton?
Okay.
All right, Beetlejuice, Frankenweenie, Corpse Bride, or The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Josh, Frankenweenie.
Incorrect. Tim,
what was the bride one?
Corpse Bride.
Corpse Bride.
Incorrect.
That one was. So it was not the first one.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
That was the first one.
That was Tim Burton.
Yeah, the only one that was not directed by Tim Burton was The Nightmare Before Christmas.
What?
Was he involved?
Okay, so
Danny Elfman did the music. I know that.
So The Nightmare Before Christmas was produced and conceived by Tim Burton, but
it's called Tim Burton's
But it was directed by Henry Selick.
Okay, whatever.
Now you know.
That one's going to be under protest.
Look, you guys need to listen. Don't say whatever. You need to step it up. Okay.
Don't hate the player.
Bring your A game.
I've never seen that.
I think I even emphasized directed.
Yeah.
Okay, going into question 3 of round 2. I believe it's still 2-0. Question 3. In what century did the practice of trick-or-treating begin? Hold on. Got some options for you. The 16th century, the 14th, the 18th, or the 20th?
Tim, 20th.
Incorrect.
No, it's not. I've heard this before, Dave. Trick-or-treating was more of a recent thing.
Josh, do you have an
18th
answer?
century.
That's also incorrect. The answer is the 16th century.
No way.
So in North America, trick-or-treating began to develop as a Halloween tradition in the 1920s in the 1920s. But the European tradition of going house to house collecting foods at Halloween goes back at least as far as the 16th century.
But do we really care about them?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. But now you know. Okay.
History began on 1776. I think Ron Swanson said that.
Absolutely. Okay, so that is the end of round 2.
Before that, everything else was a mistake.
Yes. That's his quote, right? Yeah. Nice.
You guys let me know when you're done.
Okay, go ahead.
All right,
Got
so
one more Ron Swanson.
round 3, final round. Point totals increase. The stakes get higher. Okay, final round. First question. This one is has anybody ever seen the movie Halloween?
Negative.
Nah.
Perfect, because that is the theme of this round.
Did
Question
you know
1.
that I grew up going trick-or-treating at church?
All right, question 1. In what year was the movie Halloween released? 1977, 78, 79, or 1980?
Tim, 77.
Incorrect. Josh?
Josh, 79.
Incorrect. It was released in 1978, just before Halloween on October 25th. I'm not a huge Halloween movie fan, but I'd say that's probably about the right time to release it.
Yeah, you should.
I mean, you want to release it right before the
I could
holiday,
never
right?
see a horror anything, and I would be perfectly content.
I'm not. I can't do. I don't do.
No.
I don't do scary movies. I don't like to be scared, but it's more of a thing like when I get scared, I get angry. And so like when I watch a scary movie and like something jumps out, I'm just like, you know, like it makes me mad.
Yeah, I've just never seen a scary movie and been like, I'm glad I saw that.
Yeah. It doesn't really, scary movies don't really do it for me. I know I'm boring, but whatever. Okay, question 2. This is almost done, guys. Where does the movie Halloween take place? Like the plot, where does it take place? Options: Hannibal, Missouri; Henry, Indiana; Haydenfield, Illinois; or Litchfield, Kentucky.
Tim, Indiana.
Incorrect.
I'm going to pass because I was going to say that.
That's weak.
You gotta just guess.
Illinois.
It's Haydenfield or Haddonfield, Illinois. I'm not going to give that to you. Which is located on Route 66, only a few miles from Pontiac.
Okay.
How about that? Haydenfield or Haddonfield, Illinois. Final question, Tim. If you get this right, you can win the game. You can win the game.
Hopefully it's multiple choice.
Okay, so Michael Myers, who is I believe it's Myers, is the main character in Halloween. When Michael stabs his sister to death, what kind of Halloween costume was he wearing? Is it a pirate costume, a clown costume, a ghost costume, or a wizard costume?
Tim, wizard costume?
Tim, incorrect.
Dang it.
I already won.
You did already win.
What is it, Dave?
It is a clown costume, which obviously, if you're going to wear something and you want to be scary, that's the one that you're going to pick.
Oh, gosh.
So, Josh, you shut Tim out. 2-0. Josh is the champion once again. Hooray.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Not well versed in the Halloween tradition.
Yeah,
Well, I hope you learned a little bit. Okay,
That is not my wheelhouse.
at least that the Halloween, the practice of trick or treating did not start.
I'm gonna
in the
look.
20th
I'm gonna
century.
look into that. Dave.
Well,
Check it out.
At least our listeners can scream at us throughout this segment.
Yeah, because I'm
say-
sure they're.
there's probably
dummies.
tons of people out there that are like, I know everything.
It's
about
Ireland.
this. Yeah.
Everyone knows Tim Burton didn't direct Tim Burton's
Yeah, what do you
Nightmare
guys
Before
think?
Christmas.
It was Henry Selick. Duh.
Anyways, that's going to wrap up our hodgepodge show for this week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to the You Can Man podcast. Definitely check out our Facebook group page. Check out youcanman.com for our show notes. Hey, take some time, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, and we will see you next time.